Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I want to wish everyone a happy 4th of July. You guys have fun and stay safe. For today's project, I'm using the IOD Vintage Brooches mold. And I poured those with resin. I made one of each, so I have 6 of these to create my little forest friends. I saw this on Pinterest and just fell in love with it. Stick around to the end because it turns out so cute. I just fell in love with them. I have my little forest friends. I have a picture of a bear, a deer, a little hedgehog, a fox, a rabbit, and an owl. I used the amazing castings. It sets up in 10 minutes. I'm going to be taking my Rust-Oleum chalk paint in linen white, and I'm going to be giving just the center of each brooch 2 coats. All right, now that my 2 coats are dry, I'm going to be taking my little pictures and getting all 6 of them fit and ready to decoupage. As you can see, 3 of them I have already fit, and what I did was I just center it over the brooch how I want the little animal to be placed, and then I'll just take a brush with water and go around the edge, and I just tear it with my fingers because I wanted the edges to be just more organic, not just straight cut. As you can see on this one, I'm just fitting it just to where I think it will fit and look good. And then I'm going to take a brush with water. Well, right there I'm taking the edge of the paintbrush and I'm going around the edge where it fits inside the frame. And that'll give me a guide to where I need to tear. And I'll do that for each one. So here I'm going to be taking my water and go around the edge. Okay, I have all 6 torn and ready to go. Mod Podge, matte finish. I'm going to give it a pretty good coat in the center, just in the center where I'll be laying my little critters. And you'll see that, I don't know if you can tell by the picture, but the edges, I smooth it down with my fingers, and the edges will not be perfect. I take an X-Acto knife and kind of cut, and it helps press down the edge. I just kind of mess with it till I get it just how I want it. And in the end, by the time you put your paint and antique and everything, crackle finish, you're not going to see those edges. They'll be just perfectly fine. All right, once I have them all down, I'm going to make sure that first layer is good and dry. Now I'm going to be going back over the top with another coat of the Mod Podge to seal it in. And I do kind of a cross hatch type brush stroke for the Mod Podge so it looks more like a canvas instead of just straight brush strokes. All right, once all 6 of these are Mod Podged, sealed in, and dried, next I'm going to be taking my Dixie Belle Patina paint. This stuff is gorgeous. I love it. But you have to make sure that you mix it real well. I'll be using the blue spray and the green spray. The green spray I have in a separate little a different bottle. I learned that stuff will corrode your spray bottle. When I get through using it, I take it out and I'll put the end of it in a cup of water and spray it till it sprays clear. And that helps keep your spray bottles from being corroded. So I'm taking the color copper and I'm just going to paint each of the little frames. I'm also going to be putting some of the blue and some of the green in bowls because I want to brush those on. I don't want to spray because I didn't really want a bunch of the spray getting on the little pictures. Even though they're sealed in, I just didn't want it on it. Now the back, I'm going to be painting the backs of everything. I like them finished. So I started giving the back of this one a coat with the copper. And as you can see, that wasn't going to get it because I'd have had to put 10 coats on there to cover it. So I just take a paper towel while it's wet and just wipe it off as best I can. And then I'm going to take my DIY clay-based paint in the color Little Black Dress. And I'm going to give the back of all 6 of them one coat of the black. That'll help the copper with better coverage. And I won't have to put so many layers on there. One point I want to make with doing these, when I do some more, I'm going to do the backs first and let those completely dry. Doing the front and then doing the back, I was getting paint on my fingers, and my one with the little fox had a little spot on his face. And if I would have done the backs first and let them dry, then I could turn it over and do the fronts without having to worry about that. That was a lesson learned. All right, once I have all 6 painted the copper, and I gave 2 coats of the copper color, and with the black under there, it was perfect. So as you can see, I have my little glass bowls with the green and the blue patina spray. You want to put that on a wet coat of paint. So I'm giving each of the little frames another coat of the copper, and then I'm just going to take a brush and dab it on in spots, just random spots, a little bit of each color. And I'm going to do one at a time, and I kind of start drying it. And as it's drying, you can see the copper colors changing, and it makes the most gorgeous color. It has kind of that copper, that bluish color to it, like it's been in the weather for years. As the patina paint continues to dry, it just keeps, the colors just keep coming out in it, and it's beautiful. The next step I'm going to be working on is the crackle that I'm going to put over the pictures. And I'm using Pentart's. It's the classic crackle varnish. It's 2-port varnish system. And I'm going to put a generous amount over just the picture part, a generous amount, and then this will have to dry very well. So I'm going to get a good coat on all 6, and then I'm going to walk away for about at least an hour, maybe a little bit longer, and let this dry really well. I gave component number 1 plenty of time to dry. Now it's time to put on component number 2. And you put a generous coat, and you don't want to overwork it. I do kind of a cross-hatch type brush stroke, and so it's more random in the crackling. And I go through all 6 of these, and then I'm going to let this dry really well. All right, I gave the second component plenty of time to dry. Now I'm going to be using paint couture. It's called the Antiquing Glaze, and this is the color Van Dyke Brown. And I'm going to be brushing that on just a little picture part in the crackle. And I'm just going to take a soft paper towel and just rub it into the cracks. Now once you use these 2 systems, the 1 and 2 component, you don't want to put any water products, water base, wet brush, anything on it. I learned this recently, and it made a huge difference. I was having trouble getting it to work, and once I learned that you cannot put anything water-based, even a wet wipe, you don't want to wipe it back because it just makes a big mess of it, and you get no crackles. Once I learned the correct way to use this product, it's absolutely gorgeous. I'm very happy with the way these turned out. I'm going to let these sit and dry overnight. And then tomorrow I will be taking my Mod Podge in the matte finish. And I'm going to give each one front and back a couple of coats of the Mod Podge. These are so adorable. I can just see these on a wreath with lots of hanging greenery and moss. It would make a gorgeous wreath for your door. Or you can use them as tags. You could hang them with a ribbon. You could put a magnet on them and have a cute little vignette of magnets on your fridge. And tier trays, you could just spread them around the house in cute little spots. These are just adorable. This was a fun project. Once again, I want to thank everyone for being here and watching my videos. Please, if you enjoy watching, please consider hitting that like button and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it and help my channel grow. I enjoy doing this very much. Thank you all once again, and happy 4th of July. You guys have fun. Please stay safe. Until the next time, bye.